Lavender Hour by Anne. Chapter 1. The Scent of Secrets. Lavender Hollow was the sort of village that barely earned a dot on a map, if it even made it at all. Nestled between two sleepy hills and a winding river, it was known primarily for two things: the Lavender Festival in August and the strange disappearance of a local baker 15 years ago. But today, the only mystery seemed to be how the sun managed to make everything glow golden, even the old stone paths. Beatrice B. Fern, retired crime scene photographer turned reluctant flower shop owner, leaned against her shop's door frame and sipped her chamomile tea. She'd moved to Lavender Hollow 2 years ago, trading the noise of London for the quiet of wildflowers and nosy neighbors. Her shop, Fern and Bloom, sold herbs, handmade candles, and the occasional bouquet of wild arrangements no one ordered but everyone loved. The bell above her shop door jingled, and in walked a man she hadn't seen before. "I'm looking for something that smells like memory," he said with a crooked smile. Bee tilted her head. "That's a tall order. Memory of what exactly?" He paused. "Lavender, but with something darker beneath it." That stopped her. "Are you a poet or a spy?" "Neither," he said, "just someone who used to live here." Chapter 2. The Visitor. The man introduced himself as Nathaniel Hale, a documentary filmmaker who had once lived in the village as a boy. He was tall, 30-something, with dark hair touched with silver at the temples. His camera bag looked more expensive than anything else in town. "I'm doing a film on Old English folklore," he said, looking around her shop as though it were a museum exhibit. "But I also wanted to revisit an old ghost." Bee raised an eyebrow. "Literal or metaphorical?" Nathaniel smirked. "A woman named Cora Bell. She used to own the bakery." Bee nearly dropped her teacup. "Cora Bell? The one who vanished?" He nodded. "She was my aunt." Chapter 3. The Cold Trail. Worms. Bee had always been curious about the Cora Bell case. The bakery owner had closed up shop one Friday evening and was never seen again. No note, no struggle, no body. Police had assumed she ran off, but those who knew her swore she'd never leave her cat, her shop, or her nephew behind. "She was more mother to me than aunt," Nathaniel said as he leaned over her shop counter. "I don't believe she left willingly." Bee, against her better judgment, was intrigued. "What makes you think that?" He pulled a crumpled photo from his pocket. It showed a younger Cora standing outside the bakery, smiling. In the corner was a tiny detail, just a flicker of something odd, a smear of dark red on the window behind her. "Blood?" Bee murmured. "I think so. But it was never analyzed. This was taken the day before she disappeared." Chapter 4. Hushed Whispers. Later that afternoon, Bee found herself at the Lavender Hollow Historical Society, which was really just a dusty room above the post office, run by Mrs. Dottie Elkins, a retired librarian and full-time gossip. When Bee mentioned Cora Bell, Dottie's eyes narrowed. "Best not to stir up that old wound," she warned, though her voice was practically trembling with curiosity. "Some folks think she was taken by smugglers. Others say she fell in the river." "Do you have a theory?" Bee asked. Dottie leaned in. She was asking too many questions. About the land her bakery was built on. About some deeds that went missing. I told her to leave it be. Bee's fingers tingled. Something about this was starting to feel like one of the old crime scenes she used to photograph, moments before a break. Chapter 5. The Bakery's Cellar. Bee and Nathaniel visited the abandoned bakery the next morning. The windows were boarded, but the back door creaked open with a rusty groan. Dust blanketed everything like forgotten snow. The scent of old yeast and burnt sugar still lingered. They found the cellar hidden beneath a trapdoor in the pantry. It was darker than sin and smelled of mold, but something called them downward. Bee flicked on her phone light. The beam caught on something metallic, an old rusted tin wedged in the corner. Inside it were three things: a small velvet pouch with a key inside, a faded photograph of Cora holding a leather-bound ledger, a handwritten note that read, "If you're reading this, I've either run or I'm dead." The ledger has names, people who paid to keep things quiet, including a murder in 1974. They'll come for me if they find out I know. Tell Nathaniel I'm sorry. The lavender will bloom again. Chapter 6. The Lavender Ledger. With help from Dottie, who, despite her warnings, was delighted by the drama, Bee traced the key to an old safe deposit box at the village bank. Inside was the ledger. It wasn't just a record of payments, it was a confession. Years ago, a local land dispute had led to the suspicious death of a farmer named Roderick Tull. The death had been ruled accidental, but the ledger said otherwise. Multiple villagers had paid to cover it up, including the mayor at the time and the chief constable. Cora had discovered it when researching the bakery's history. The land she built it on, formerly part of Tull's farm. She got too close, Bee whispered. Nathaniel's hands trembled as he held the book. They killed her. Chapter 7. The Hour of Bloom. Bee and Nathaniel went to the current police inspector with the evidence. He was young, sharp-eyed, and not from Lavender Hollow, which was a blessing. Within weeks, the old case was reopened. A dig near the bakery's foundation uncovered a shallow grave. Cora's remains were identified by dental records. The town mourned her again, but this time with justice. The scandal swept through the village like wildfire. 2 former officials were arrested. The documentary Nathaniel had come to shoot took on a new shape, not folklore, but true crime. On the day of the Lavender Festival, Nathaniel visited Bee's shop again. I'm staying, he said. There's still beauty here, and truth too. Bee smiled. There always was. It just needed the right light. As the lavender bloomed around them in swaying rows of purple and gold, the air thick with scent and summer secrets, Bee realized the hollow still held mystery. But now it also held peace. The end.